Oh my goodness. It's really me. I've been away for a couple weeks, but I'm back now. How y'all doing? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear, and this is the Sunday video update, the first Sunday video update of the month of November already? What? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. Today's date is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. Joining me off camera this week is my dad, who is draped in a blanket. Um, Lots to go over. It's been a busy past 2 weeks, and there's a lot of area and territory to cover. I'm so glad you're here. I might go over the hour, I might not, just depends on how carried away I get into talking about things and, discussing some stuff going on. So the first things first, Amy is not with us right now. Amy is currently in the hospital. She's in the intensive care unit at Memorial in Owasso. Um, it started out as pneumonia. We know she has pneumonia, and as far as I know, she's being tested for tuberculosis. She's currently still in ICU. She will be there until about Tuesday at the latest, until they figure out what's going on. That's why Amy is not joining us today because she is currently in the hospital. Amy, we hope you get well and we'll be seeing you soon. Dad was in the hospital last week with a touch of pneumonia. I had to take him, and they did an EKG and they did a CT scan. They drew blood. They had a PICC line in him in his arm, and he's doing better now. He's just draped in a blanket. The good news is Dad quit smoking. He's been smoking cigarettes for about, I'd say about 52 years, because you said you started smoking when you were 15. So about around 1973, maybe 74, when Dad started smoking. And he just said maybe even before that. So congratulations, Dad. He hasn't had a cigarette. He tried one and he had to get sick. He pulled off to the side of the road and started heaving his guts, but you haven't had a cigarette in this coming, let's see, this today's Sunday. So yesterday would have been a week. Well, there you go. So Dad hasn't had a cigarette. So now the very smell of a cigarette or very taste of a cigarette will make him sick. Um, and another good thing is about him not smoking anymore is the fact that he's eating more. He's got an appetite, and it makes me happy to see him eat. And so he's got a hell of an appetite. Yeah, we're gonna try. Amy smokes profusely. She is a chain smoker, so we're gonna have to really work with her on that. Um, as for myself, of course, I had taken a couple weeks off. October 19th was the 2-year anniversary of my mom's death, which is why I had taken off the 19th. And last week, I just wasn't feeling well. I had like some sinus infection, drainage stuff going on. I'm still going through it a little bit, but I'm feeling much better than I did, say, a week or two ago. Um, I'm doing a lot better. Hello, King Bob. Thanks for stopping by. Uh, Chewing off my toenail didn't come in this week. He's probably under the weather himself, as far as I know. Um, but I'm feeling much better. And, the change of the weather does it. Everybody gets sick from the change of the weather. It's the drastic temperature swing, and it makes people sick, especially in Michigan. We have 1 minute it's 80 degrees, and then the next minute it's 40, and I think today it's 50 something. Um, let's see. Maybe I can pull it up. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Current temperature.
It's 54 degrees right now.
It's 54 degrees. Not bad. Not bad. Is Spinette still busy with his channel? I don't know, King Bob. I haven't spoken with Spinette. I have him on my Facebook. I'll message him and find out what's going on. But I haven't spoken with him. I just been so busy, trying to take care of everything here at home. Not to mention the, sickness going around, and people aren't, just not feeling well. And I lost a very dear friend of mine. Her name was Christy Cooper. She passed away after a battle with breast cancer. She was a metastatic breast cancer fighter for a very long time. We would keep in contact via text message, and she called me a couple of times, and I found out on Facebook that she had passed away. She succumbed to her illness, and she was a sweetheart. She loved Disney. Um, she was just a big Disney fanatic, and she was really the sweetest lady you would ever have the privilege of speaking with. So, Christy Cooper, she lived in Oregon and or Oregon, I guess, depending on how you pronounce that. But she will be missed. She was only in her 50s. I think she was like 52. She was young. Her daughter announced it on Facebook that she passed away. So my love and condolences go out to her family. She was one of a kind, and I'm definitely going to miss her. I'm going to miss the phone calls and the text messages. And, but now she's out of pain. She's free and clear. Um, there's a lot to get to, a lot to get to. Um, and I know I say and all that a lot. It's a habit. I'm trying to think of things to speak about, and because I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. I had taken my mom's death pretty good. The anniversary of her death, that is. I had taken that better than I thought I would have, considering it's been 2 years already and it doesn't seem like it. Um, and it's one of those things where, I know mom's gone. I know she's at peace. I know she's never coming back again. But I have an obligation and a duty, not just as her son, but as an adult, to carry on with my life, to do what I need to do to get things done. And I need to continue doing what I do. And so that's what I'm going to do. Is someone here, or is that next door? I heard a car door shut. I'm not sure if that was in our driveway or maybe perhaps next door. I'm going to check the cameras here real quick. I have cameras on my house, so I don't have to even pull up the window blinds. It's not here. I think it's next door. Yeah, next door. Still checking, folks. Oh yeah, it's next door. They backed out of the driveway. Now they're pulling away. They're going that way to the east. Um, Dad's watching a football game. It is Detroit Lions versus. I have no fucking clue what that other team is. It shows you how much I watch sports. The Vikings. Also, I saw your community post about the new Google AI, and it said you were an activist. I thought activists were political debaters. No, not necessarily, King Bob. An activist is someone like an advocate, but they, um, no, it's activists aren't necessarily strictly political. I'm not a political activist, although there was something I wanted to talk about. And so, as everybody knows, if you haven't heard, the Trump administration had put a pause on SNAP benefits, which is food stamps. And getting on Facebook, um, I I have never been more appalled and disgusted by some of the posts that I've been reading by people who are so self-centered and self-righteous and inconsiderate assholes that instead of being more concerned about how are we going to feed the children whose families depend and rely on SNAP benefits, instead what I've been reading is, well, they need to get off their lazy asses and get a job and do this and do that to feed their kids. So I'm going to talk about that for a minute. First off, people who receive SNAP benefits, the families, not necessarily lazy. I see this a lot where the word lazy is associated with people who get SNAP benefits or assistance from the state or whatever. It's not lazy to do what you have to do to survive, even if it means getting benefits from the state. It's not lazy. You don't know a person's situations. You don't know the specifics of the life that they're living to make any kind of judgment, even remotely, on how people live their lives. How fucking dare you? You don't have the right to do that. And it's always, well, these people sit on their lazy butts and they do nothing to get all the, it shouldn't be up to me to feed the kids. So then, John Q. Worker, we shouldn't have to listen to you whine and bitch and bellyache when you're broke at the end of a work week, because instead of having better management on the money that you earn, you piss it away on tattoos and cigarettes and Xbox and all this dumb shit you don't need. Just so the people on SNAP and receiving SNAP benefits can be the person you point the finger at and the person you blame for your piss poor money management skills, right?
If that's the case,
And
why is the government, people that work in the White House or wherever, are trying to get SNAP? They want us to send them money so they can get food for their families. They got fucking money.
And here's something else to consider. All these people who are working class and they're all, well, it's sad to see children starve. Well, it doesn't seem to bother you that the government wants to pause SNAP benefits, which ultimately affects the children that the families are trying to feed. So which is it? Do you are you in favor of the Trump administration putting a pause on SNAP benefits that will ultimately feed kids, or are you really genuinely concerned about starving children? You can't have it both ways, folks. I think the minority of people who voted for Trump feel regret of doing so. Yeah, and they fucking should. It should be a wake-up call. This is not a Republican or a Democrat issue. This is an everyone issue. This affects everyone. No matter which side of the political aisle you're on, this affects everyone who receives SNAP benefits. And how dare anybody make any kind of judgment or assessment based on information that they don't have? You don't know if a person is able-bodied to work. And I'll grant the fact that there are lots of people who are in fact able-bodied to work and they don't. They have a bunch of kids specifically for the programs, the free handouts. I'm not going to say that that's not happening, because it is, and we can see that. It plays out in real time. But if you really don't know, you look at a person who's walking down the street, oh, they can work. How do you know? How do you know that? You don't know the specifics of a person's day-to-day life to make any kind of assessment about what you think they should be eligible for or qualify for. Are you someone who works for the government? Just because you work a job does not put you in a position to tell people how to live their lives.
Besides that, there's a lot of people out there that have worked
and
still don't make enough to feed their families.
That, and there is such a thing as the working poor.
Yes.
There are people who work and still receive benefits because they don't make enough at their jobs. So they have to find another way to support the families. Now, I understand the frustration where a lot of working people, when they apply for the extra help, the state says, oh, you make too much money. Now, I don't know how that works. I'm not going to pretend to know that, I'm not going to pretend that I know how that works. But don't judge people based on what you yourself don't know. Because if you are, in fact, making too much according to the state, they have ways of calculating and figuring that out. Some people are eligible and they qualify, and some people aren't eligible and they do not qualify. But don't be a person who's working making past judgments about, oh, they're lazy and they don't do anything and I got to pay for them to eat and blah, blah, blah. So you're really not upset at the fact that people are receiving SNAP benefits and you're working for a living. What you're really upset about is the fact that you have piss poor money management skills and you piss your money away on stupid shit you don't need, like tattoos and, you know, the Xbox games and the Fortnite and all that bullshit that you don't fucking need. It's not a necessity because you, a working person, don't know how to spend within your means. It's everybody else's fault, right? Wrong. No, it's not. And I am sick to death of the judgment. I see this on Facebook all the time. Well, I bust my ass just for these working people. Well, you know what? The world doesn't revolve around you. Just because you have a job, the world does not revolve around you. You self-centered, selfish asshole. There are lots of people who work, they pay into the system, and there are people who receive the benefits, those families whom of which are eligible and qualify for these programs, they pay into the system as well. In a different way. Maybe not in a way that you would notice, but I think everybody notices because they're not stealing the food. They are spending and they are trading money in exchange for goods and services that you worked the job to provide. So if you're paying for me, I'm just as much paying for you.
My money went into that fund.
Yeah.
My money went into that.
Even when I worked at Walmart for the 2 weeks, I wasn't above anybody. I'm not above anybody. Whether I'm working or not working, I am not superior over anyone. And I'm not going to sit on a high horse on Facebook and tell people how they should conduct their fucking lives. I don't tell people how to live their lives. That's just the bottom line. And how dare anyone come on Facebook and make crass statements and pass judgments about situations that they don't have enough information to conclude. It's really fucking lazy. You want to talk about lazy? That's lazy. He wanted to remove the 22nd Amendment. It's there for a reason. Yeah. Yeah, King Bob. The Trump administration is pretty much taking a great big shit on the Constitution. They want to throw out, they threw out the rule of law. They don't give a fuck about the Constitution, and due process is another thing that the Trump administration clearly does not give a fuck about. I don't understand what's happened to this world. I just don't understand it. I do not understand what's gotten into everyone. The 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution limits a president to 2 elected terms in office, which, of course, Trump wants a 3rd term, which is not going to happen. I hope not. Passed in 1947 and ratified in 1951, it was a response to Franklin D. Roosevelt being elected to 4 terms. A president can serve a maximum of 10 years if they take office after another president's term has already begun. No more than 2 terms. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Before the 22nd Amendment, there was no term limit, but George Washington set a 2-term tradition that was followed until Franklin D. Roosevelt broke it. The amendment was proposed by Congress in 1947 and ratified by the states on February 27th, 1951. The administration thinks they're head of the whole government when they're only head of a singular branch within it. Yeah, and by what I understand, King Bob, the Republicans, they have the Senate, they have the House, and I think they have the Supreme Court. And they think they can rat fuck this government and do whatever they want and rat fuck the economy, not to mention they started demolishing the East Wing of the White House for a stupid fucking ballroom. Hey, Trump, I've heard it said by other people, and now I'm going to say it. It's not your fucking house. It's our house. The White House is ours. when I read that, my heart dropped into my gut because there's so much history behind the White House, and the forefathers would have never imagined it being this way. Never. And now we have Mr. Cheeto in charge thinking he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So, but I'm more concerned right now about the discussion about SNAP benefits and people making judgments based on information they don't have, which is really sad. You have no business judging anybody. I'm not talking to King Bob or anybody in chat. I'm saying, generally speaking, into my camera, you have no business judging anybody for getting what they get because you don't have all of the specifics based on a person's life to know why they qualify for those benefits. Shame on you for making past judgments. I thought we wanted what was best for everybody. What happened to feed your neighbor and all that stuff, help someone in need? We're all supposed to be banding together. I guess those are old attitudes and old ways of life.
We're all supposed to be brothers and sisters.
Because now it seems like I live in an every man for himself world, and I think it's really fucking horrible. I don't get on Facebook on my high horse and say, well, you know what? I work for a living. And even when I did work at Walmart, I didn't think I was above anybody. You can ask Dad. I even made sure that he and Amy knew that I was not above them when I had a job. I told them, I don't know how many times, I don't want you guys thinking that I'm better or above you, because I'm not. I'm not above or better than anybody. I tried to improve my life by doing something out of my comfort zone. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I know I'm not better than anybody. And how dare anybody get on Facebook and make past judgments based on information that they don't have? You just assume people are lazy because they're not out there working like you do. And, well, I have kids. Well, you know what? That was also your decision to lay down and make a baby. No one told you you had to. You couldn't control your animalistic instinct to lay on your fucking back and make a baby. And now that you're trying to balance between your stupid spending habits and your piss poor money managing skills and feeding children, you need someone else to blame other than yourselves. So it might as well be the person who's not working, right? Fuck you. That's not going to happen. When you said you're not above anyone, reminded me that actually a part of the Constitution passed by Biden. No one is above no one else. That's true, because we're not.
Exactly.
All men are created equal, which is it's a bullshit statement, because we know and we can see and measure it in real time that's not true. But I am not above anybody. I'm not better than anyone. I treat people the way that I would like to be treated, and I don't make judgments based on what I don't know. I can't back it up with facts. And again, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who milk the system, that they're having children specifically for the benefits, the welfare and all that, but that is not always the case. I know of two people right off the top of my head, and I'm not going to say their names, but I know of two people who have kids specifically for the benefits. I'm not going to say their names though, but I know of two people, and they make it known. I'm just really sick to death of all the judgment. You know, we're all paddling the same boat here. Again, like I said, this is not a Republican issue. It's not a Democratic issue. This is an everyone issue. The people who qualify and are eligible for SNAP benefits, they got to eat. And I read somewhere, oh, here we go. Who is it? What?
What?
Oh, well, you could have called when. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. It's not a Republican or Democratic issue. This is something that affects everyone across the nation. And the thing is, it boils down to how are these people going to feed their kids? I don't care. Personally, I don't care if there are people who are able to work and don't, but they find ways to feed their kids. I personally don't care. I also don't care if people are working while getting state assistance. I don't care. People have to do what they have to do to survive. I had a thought and I lost it when your fucking phone rang. Thanks a lot, Amy. This is not a one-sided issue. This is something that affects everybody. We're all paddling the same boat. This is not just a one-sided issue. I guess that was the point I was trying to make. This is an issue that affects everyone who's eligible for SNAP benefits. And I read somewhere that there were like 2 or 3 federal judges who are now saying that the Trump administration must disperse the benefits. They have to do it. Because there are millions of people who are on SNAP and they depend on SNAP to feed their families. I'm curious, is your eyesight minus or plus? I have no fucking clue. I'm nearsighted, if that answers your question. But that was my pet peeve this past week, and even more so today, because I'm seeing more posts on Facebook about people who are, well, they're just too lazy, and they, if you're disabled, I get it, blah, blah, blah. Well, even still, you are not a caseworker. You are not a federal government employee. You're not the one calculating a person's income. So therefore, if you don't have that information, you can keep your fucking mouth shut and mind your business and not worry about how other people live their lives.
What if that was their parents?
They don't care.
That about everybody or their grandparents.
Yeah.
What happened? A person that's worked all their lives and they're 70 to 80 years old and they don't get enough into their Social Security or whatever, and they get it. What are they going to do? Call them lazy?
Oh, I bet they would.
They're 70, 80 years old. Come on. What the hell?
People are judgmental. But I'm not going to judge anybody who gets any kind of assistance.
People fucking put my shoes on for one day and 1 month. Live in my situation or ours where the one we get a month, I would love them to be in my shoes for 1 month.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle it. They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about government workers. I'm talking about general everyday people like me and you. They work, therefore they think they're better than everyone. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you're not better than anybody. In a world where everybody's so worried about starving children, but yet when families are doing everything in their power to keep their children fed, they're being judged. Oh, he gets SNAP benefits. He should be working. He should be doing this and doing that and blah, blah, blah. Why don't you just mind your fucking business, you busybody prick, and do what you need to do to make sure that your household is being taken care of? And stop with this bullshit nonsense about, oh, it's my tax dollar paying for. No, it's not just yours. And that money comes back to you, by the way. You get the money back. There's a thing called income tax. There's a thing called when I pay money in exchange for goods and services that you're selling me, you get a paycheck for that. The money goes back into the company. That kind of thing. What are you bitching about? But that's my That's my rant inside of my Sunday video update. This week, I'm not sure what's going on. Were we going out to Pine Run tomorrow night? Okay. We were there last week. And I saw Dan Richards, which, by the way, tonight at 7 o'clock is the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards, 103.9 The Fox. There is a link in the chat at the top. And yeah, tune in tonight. It's going to be Halloween themed on the Fox Sunday Flashback. So you're going to hear a lot of spooky tunes by a lot of your favorite artists. When you listen in, Dan should give the number, or you can message the Fox Sunday Flashback Facebook page, or you can email Dan directly, flashback@classicfox.com. So that's 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight, which, by the way, I hope you set your clocks back an hour. That is tonight at 7 o'clock, 103.9 The Fox. Make sure you tune in. Tell him Jer Bear sent you. He'll know who I am. And I actually did see Dan frequently over, it was last weekend, I believe. Yes, it was last weekend. And not for good reasons. His granddaughter, Isabel, the one who died in the car accident, her funeral was on October 25th, the same day that my mom had her funeral, October 25th. And then the following week, I went to Burton to Georgianne's daughter Jackie's funeral. And so I've been seeing a lot of Dan and Georgianne recently. But I told Dan, I said, we got to stop meeting like this, man. I don't mind hanging out with you, but we got to stop meeting up like this. This is not good. And, just trying to, lighten the mood and lighten the moment a little bit. But it's really bad because Dan and Georgianne are two of the most incredible people I've ever known in my life. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the mic. Dan and Georgianne are just fantastic people. They would do anything for anybody. They take the shirt off the back for anyone. And they have shit thrown at them one after the other. With the death of a granddaughter, the death of a daughter, the death of Georgianne's son, tragic. They've had a lot of horrible shit thrown their way. But nothing shakes who they are, which is something to be admired. It's really something to be admired. I was telling Dan one week because Georgianne's daughter was in hospice care, and I told him on Monday night, I said, Dan, isn't there somewhere else you should be instead of here? I mean, if you got to be somewhere else, I'll understand if you got to be somewhere else. And he says, this was Georgianne's idea for me to come here. He says, and it acts as a very good diversion from what's going on. He says, there's nothing I could do anyway, even if I were to leave, which I understand that. But, my thought was, should you be there for Georgianne, for support? Should you be there to spend time with Jackie before something happened or whatever? And it was all Georgianne's idea. She says, you go and take care of Pine Run. I'm going to stay here with my daughter. And it was a nice diversion for Dan. And that's why we keep things lively, and we like to joke around, and we keep them in good spirits. And we talk about music, and we talk about all kinds of random stuff. And we keep them laughing and smiling. And it's just one of those things, Monday night is where we go to forget about our troubles for a couple hours. And it's a great time. Yeah. Burnt toast. Yeah. It's a great time. I enjoy going out there, and, it's like, home away from home kind of, except that we get a break, a mental break, and we just have fun. We just have fun and enjoy ourselves. And it is a nice diversion. Don't get her barking, Dad. Luna. Hey, Luna, stop that. Stop. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come. Hi. You say hi to everybody? Hi, Luna Boone. But let's see what we got. Message retracted. Well, okay, King Bob. What?
She's on the arm of the couch.
Yeah, she's on the arm of the couch.
I can see her in there.
Yeah, so there's been a lot going on. My brother Jay, he's still not home. He's still being treated and cared for. Okay, they got him in Chesaning at the nursing care facility. I wasn't gonna say, but Dad blurted it out, so I guess now it's too late to turn back. He's at the nursing care facility in Chesaning, and as far as I know, he's doing okay. I haven't talked to him because I've been sick with my seasonal allergies. Well, not sick, but I don't want him to get sick because he's got some health issues going on. And so I want to make sure that he's okay. And I don't want to be the direct root cause of his further health ailments. I retracted the message because I had so many typos. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I haven't seen my brother, not recently. But as far as I know, he's doing okay, I guess. Is he, Dad? I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's doing better, I guess. You still gotta go see a dentist and
No, he's got to go see a
they got
dentist.
infections. They bring
Yeah.
him, come on, get him on an ambulance, take him to get his injections, and then take him back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's a work in progress, but I think he'll be okay. Wayne, I think Wayne had a talk with him as well. Made Jay think a little bit, but I miss my brother. You know, I miss having my brother, my extra brother to talk to, but he's got to make changes. He's got to get rid of certain people, toxic people. He's got to get rid of them because they influence everything he does, and they've got him just in a clusterfuck of thoughts that he should know better, being 45 years old, and he's believing everything he's told. And it's like, come on, man, you're 45 years old. Your thinking should be far superior than what it is. And I tried to tell him that. He gets mad when you try to tell him anything, so I just stopped talking. But I do wish him well, for sure. But anyway, we got about a little over 20 minutes left of the show. Like I said, I don't know if I might go over the hour or I might just leave on the hour because I think I've pretty much talked about everything else I wanted to talk about. But the SNAP benefit thing is really what got my goat this week, because I see so much of that crap being said on Facebook that people who they're just lazy because they get SNAP benefits, and it's just how fucking incredibly judgmental can you be when you don't have all the facts in front of you. You look at someone just because they're able to walk and talk and whatever else, you think by just automatically thinking that they are able to do anything they can to get food on the table. There's more to a person's life than what you think. So just
There's people that look like they can walk and talk, but they have mental problems.
keep
where they can't be around a lot of people.
Yeah, keep your fucking judgment to yourself.
Exactly.
If you don't know the situation, just shut the fuck up. Grab a seat and shut your fucking pie hole. That would be my answer. I hope you all had a nice Halloween. I know Friday was Halloween. I haven't been trick-or-treating in a long time, but I'm almost 40 years old. There's no reason for me to go trick-or-treating.
And the price of candy now, people are not
Well,
Halloween anymore, hardly.
my cousins showed up on, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
Or was it on Halloween? Heidi and Elwood were here on Halloween, I think. Yes, they were here on Halloween. And they took their daughter, Lexi, around Chesaning. And Ethan?
Yeah.
Oh, and Ethan. Okay, so by what I understood, Elwood was saying that they were passing out the king-size candy. that they were telling the kids, take as much as you want. Where the fuck were you guys when I was out trick-or-treating? You guys didn't say take as much as you want. You grabbed a handful of whatever, put it in the bag, and that was it. We didn't have the option to, take as much as you want, king size. What the fuck? Now all of a sudden they're not greedy with candy, and candy's expensive, by the way. But they're not greedy with the candy. What the hell? Where were you guys when we were trick-or-treating? Yeah, the recession really hurt too, because candy being so expensive, hardly anyone can afford it. But I mean, if they're willfully passing out king size candy bars, I mean, shit. Oh, I could too. Yeah. Yes. It's not a secret. They've got the money. They can afford it. They can go and spend copious amounts of money on candy and pass it out, give it away for free, and it wouldn't hurt their pockets. Also, the kinds of people who judge people for getting SNAP benefits and, that whole thing, that whole situation just bugs me to no end. It fucking irritates me. I just cannot get off that subject. It's just irritating to me. When I had that job at Walmart, I never one time looked at another person and said, I'm better than you because I have a job. You get food stamps. I have a job. Well, guess what? I was collecting benefits while I worked, which legally you are allowed to do. You are allowed to earn so much money at a job before they start, like if you get SSI, you are allowed to work so many hours before they start taking the money from your check. You're allowed to do that. But I'm not going to sit and judge people. That's the point. And fuck you if you're one of those people watching this who are sitting on your high horse and judging people based on information that you don't have available in front of you. You're not a caseworker. You're not calculating a person's income or what they get or how they make money or whatever it is, how much money they earn. You're not the doctor who dictated that a person should be getting benefits from the state due to health factors. You are another human being, another general person working and earning a living for your family. How dare you judge someone based on information you don't have? That's bullshit. Not to mention that we have this administration, which is just fucking bizarre. It's out of this world to me how this administration gets away with the shit they do. But we have a government that basically it's a boys club. It is a Republican-run boys club where all these kiss-ass, suck-ass hacks get together in the White House, kissing Trump's ass, groveling at his feet, oh, great one, and we have a fascist dictator for a president. A fascist, and you people are okay with that. You voted for him, you're okay with that. There's something wrong with your fucking head. Something wrong. Because only would a fascist behave the way he does. This narcissistic, egocentric, ego-tripping prick in charge who wants to throw out the rule of law. He wants to dismiss due process. Like we heard about those boats being blown up, which I thought was a bunch of fucking bullshit. But we don't know if there were drugs on those boats. We don't know that.
Could have been fucking immigrants.
The thing is, that's why we have due process in this country. That's why there is a thing called due process. Even if you are not a resident of the United States, while you are here in the United States, you still have protection. You still have the protections of being in the United States. even though you're not a citizen here, you still have those protections and rights. There was no due process. We don't know what their motives or their intentions were. We don't know if they were smuggling drugs. We don't know if those people operating the boats were criminals or what they were up to. We don't have that information. But Trump said, blow them up. No due process, no way of finding anything out. Let's just assume that that's what they were doing. This is the kind of boneheaded shit that we hear about every day. You can't just do, and furthermore, if you're going to do things like this, it has to be an authoritarian position of power to say we have legal warrant to believe that a crime has been committed. And they have a right to an attorney. They have a right to due process, which is something that our government wants to throw out. They dismiss it. They ignore it. They've taken a great big shit on the Constitution. And what bugs me even more about that is that I have friends who served in the military. They swore an oath to the same Constitution, but yet they voted for this condescending douche nozzle to say, fuck the Constitution. We're going to take a great big shit on it. And that's what's happened. How can you be in favor of an elected official shitting on the Constitution when you yourself swore an oath to it when you served in the military? You weren't drafted. You enlisted willingly. How the fuck do you do that? You swore an oath to a Constitution, or to the Constitution rather. You swore an oath to the Constitution and then turn around and vote for the party that takes a great big steaming shit on it. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. This country is in trouble. The world is on fire. I don't know how to fix it. I'm one person. I don't have the answers. I don't have solutions. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I don't vote, but that might change. I might re-register to vote in the future. Because the shit that's going on in this country is abominable and it's detestable. I cannot believe that I live in a world where the government decides, well, we're going to put a pause on because we're too busy bailing out other countries. So we're going to put a pause on feeding our own, but we're going to bail out other countries. You fucking traitorous bastard. And, all kinds of other shit going on. But I don't think I have enough time to go over each and every single problem. But I do know that our current Cheeto in charge president is a 34-time convicted felon, and people still vote for him. He gave bad information during the pandemic in the first term of his run. And after that, and he wants to run for a third term. He's trying to make it to where he can run for a third term in office. And I think that's one of the reasons why I should re-register to vote and get my vote out there. Because if that's really the case where the government, which I don't see it happening, but it would still be good to vote.
Even if they do good, and it's all electoral vote.
Electoral.
Your vote is not gonna matter.
But my thing now is, after watching the shit show unfold, my thing is, if I do vote and I vote for the right candidate, it might make a difference. Maybe. I could be wrong, but it would be worth trying just to get this motherfucker out of office and get back to the way things used to be. Get some kind of normalcy back in our country and our lives and our world. Because what's going on now with the Republican Party, it's a boys' club. And it just blows my mind how so many people are taken by this guy. They voted for him, willingly voted for him. He's actively trying to take away the rights of trans people and gay people. He's trying to take away your right. He's taken away rights to due process, which that plays out over and over, time and time again. He limits access to food. He's doing that now. The Trump administration, they put the pause on SNAP benefits. And what about WIC? That's all a program. Those are all programs by the government.
They're keeping WIC.
Yeah. Oh, they get to keep WIC.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
The WIC, because that babies need the milk.
Yes, they need the formula. They need their essential vitamins, their essential nutrients, vitamins. They need their nutrients. They're growing, they're developing. They need you get vitamins and fruits and veggies, yeah. Bananas. Babies need the essentials. But my issue, again, and I've said this now, I think for the 5th time, it's just the way people sit on their high horse on Facebook and they fucking judge everybody because they get assistance from the state. How dare you? What if that was you? What if you were in a position, and don't say, well, it wouldn't be me. You don't know that. You don't fucking know that. What if you were in a position to where you had no other choice but to get help from the system? Well, it's only supposed to be temporary. Says who? Says who? You don't run that shit. You are not a government official. You don't get to make determinations based on who is eligible and who isn't, or how long you think a person should be on it. You don't get to do that. You are not in a position of power to be running your mouth and judging people and raining shit on people when all they're trying to do is survive. That's what we're all out here trying to do. Now should not be the time that we judge each other. Now should be the time that we help each other. You know, there's churches. Huh? Well, there's churches that are willing to help. There's a lot of churches. There's a lot of soup kitchens. They had a hotline on the local news just recently because there's people who call in and they need help with groceries because of the shit going on with the SNAP benefits. While you people are too busy sitting on your high horse and looking down on people and bitching and judging people, why don't you do something to help better the situation instead of being no help at all by bitching and belly aching? People they drive me fucking nuts. This is why there are times when I don't pay attention to Facebook. I'll put my phone down. I'll walk away, or I just won't get on the internet at all because it's the same shit all the time, over and over and over again. And it's all depressing news. What? What are you laughing at? Okay, but I'm not paying attention to that. I don't care about that. What I care about is people getting the help they need. So what if they've been on SSI or food stamps for long periods of time? So what?
Jared, a lot of people that have never been on it and they have to ask for help for food and that.
Yeah.
They feel funny because they got to do that, but they have no choice.
Yeah.
They probably never had help in their life, but now all of a sudden they got to have some help getting groceries for their families, and they feel funny because I don't want to do that. I'm embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed.
No, don't be embarrassed.
If you have to get
That's what it's there for.
To feed your family, feed them.
That's what it's there for. That's why those programs exist. It doesn't matter who's funding the programs. Just be concerned with trying to get the help from the program. It's not there just for the poor or for the working poor or for those so-called lazy people that you deemed as lazy. It's there for everybody. And just because you don't qualify to get benefits from these programs, it doesn't mean that you at some point will never be eligible. There's a way that the system calculates all that. If you're eligible, not eligible, there's a way the system does it. And when you don't get your own way, well, I bust my ass off and I barely make it on what I get or what I work for. So then maybe that doesn't say anything about people being lazy who don't work. That says more about you being irresponsible and having piss poor money management skills. Learn how to budget money. Quit wasting it on fucking weed and tattoos and video games and cigarettes and all this other useless shit you don't fucking need. Well, I earn the money. Who are you to tell me how I can and can't spend it? So if you work and earn it, then stop bitching when you're broke at the end of the week. It's not the fault of people who get assistance. It's not their fault that you don't know how to manage your money better. Maybe you should be smart enough and wise enough to put some of that money away that you work hard for. And quit judging everybody else just because, well, I'm having a hard time. Well, guess what? You chose to have kids. Kids are expensive. You laid on your back to make a baby. Now pay for it. And I don't want to hear you bitch when things get hard because you chose that life. You had options. You don't have to have kids. Gee, I bet you never heard that before. You don't have to have children. You don't. There's nothing in life. There's no requirement. There's no law that says you have to have kids. Now, you have mouths to feed that you can't pay, that you can't feed, but yet somehow it's the fault of people who get SNAP benefits and SSI and all this other stuff, all these other programs. It's their fault because you have piss poor money management skills. You don't know how to budget your money. That's everybody else's fault but yours. Because you have stupid spending habits. You're an impulse buyer. You can't say no to certain things. You don't know how to save money. You have to scrimp and scrape, but that's everyone else's fault. Make it make sense, because it does not make sense to me. And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit on a high horse and look down on people and judge them. And it may very well be, people who work, they might have a child who has cancer and the bills pile up and they get sent to collection agencies. That's also a true thing. That also happens. But again, it was your choice to have a kid. You can't predict how things are going to go. It's irrespective of the fact if your child is sick or is not sick. You can't predict how things are going to go. You don't know which direction things are going to turn. That's life. Things happen. But you should have known prior to having kids that you would. Children are expensive. They're demanding. You have to feed them. You have to clothe them. You have to provide shelter for them. You have to be, you have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You're a parent, but you have to be a steward. That's the word. You are a steward of their well-being. You had taken on that responsibility when you laid on your back. That's no one else's problem but yours. Now, it's unfortunate when kids get sick. I mean, I've been reading a lot about children who are getting sick and dying. A lot of children from the childhood cancer world, and I'm not saying that anybody is deserving. I would never say that a child is deserving of cancer or any kind of life-altering, debilitating disease. I would never be in favor of that. When it comes to that situation, yes, I can understand how things are 10 times harder. It's even worse trying to support a child who's sick. But I'm talking about these people who they have healthy children, they work, they might hold down 2 jobs, and they complain because they're still broke. Well, that's not anyone else's fault but yours. Learn how to budget money. If your children are healthy, which, yes, kids get sick, but I'm talking like a terminal illness or what have you, learn how to budget money. It's not anybody else's problem but yours. And I think I have hit the 1 hour mark. Holy mackerel. I have hit the 1 hour mark. Okay, King Bob, see you later. Yeah, so we are over the 1 hour mark, Dad. Why didn't you tell me the time was up? You're slacking, timekeeper. Okay, guys. Well, that is the end of the show. I thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble for the past hour. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. I'll be back again next week. Dad, any final thoughts before we go?
Yeah, be safe and come on, guys, get together, help each other. Stop fucking around.
Stop fucking around. And I'll echo what Dad said. Stop fucking around. Amy, she's still in the hospital, so Amy you'll probably hear Amy next week, hopefully. If she comes home from the hospital, she's going to get herself better.
She'll say, peace out, be safe.
Yeah, she'll say peace out, be safe, and like she always does. So I love y'all. I thank you for watching. Let's see, we just got King Bob this week, and don't forget to tune into the Fox Sunday Flashback tonight at 7:00 Eastern Time. I will be back again next week for another Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller. Oh, how could I have forgotten? Yeah, we got to meet Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
On the 25th of October, the same day that, that we went to a funeral. But we did get to meet Swoggle. He's a funny guy, and hopefully he'll come back to Corona. Thanks, Swoggle, for coming out and hanging with us.
Nice guy, too.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. He's my age, if you believe it or not. But I'll be back again next week. Much love to everybody. Take care and stay safe and be well. Bye.